Hello and welcome once more to Chair Interval Training, brought to you by Community Access Yellow Springs and the Yellow Springs Senior Center, and me, Lynn Hardman, Silver Sneakers and Flex Instructor. Hey, whether you're joining us for the first time or it's been about a year since we started this virtual program, thanks to our precious institutions in town, you'll need a sturdy chair. And today, if you have it, a rubber ball, maybe 7 to 10 inches in diameter, and a hand weight of sorts, a jug that's a gallon or so filled to the desired level, would make an excellent resistance tool for your muscular strength. We are going to do intervals of approximately 10 minutes each, combining a warm-up and some cardiovascular exercise and some strength exercise, and we'll end it up with some stretching and balance and relaxation. How does that grab you? So make sure you've got a safe place to work, and before you begin this exercise program or any new activity, it's best to consult your physician. And if you feel out of balance or dizzy at any time, or something's just not right, you know you best. It's recommended you remain or return to your chair. So let's put on some music. And by the way, I am sporting my favorite women's team, the U.S. Women's National Soccer Team jersey today in honor of the end of the month of March, which is International Women's Day. And I'm wearing my colors from flags of many nations all over the world because this pandemic has hit women a lot harder than men. And we can all work together to lift us out of this pandemic. We have to work together, and it's working. But I just wanted to say there's a real need to lift up our women of the world. This has been called a she session, not a recession, because it's going to take a lot longer, the loss of jobs and livelihoods for women because of many factors. All right, let's get started, because if we don't have the opportunity and if we don't stay strong, whether we're women, men, children, or any individual on this planet, we just won't be able to do our best. So, all right, you'll want to tuck things away under your chair and use your best posture so that you can move easier, whether you're seated or standing. Stack your ears over your shoulders, over your hips, and let's get moving. I'm so pleased that I'm able to be with you today. Thanks again to Sean Devine at Community Access Yellow Springs and to Karen Wolford and her whole team at the Senior Center for everything you do. Okay, spring is coming and I'm excited, but we're still going to get quite a bit of fluctuation from cold to warm. And that being said, give your body time to warm up gradually. It's the most important part of your exercise, the warm up and the cool down. That and paying attention. If anything hurts, sharp, sudden, stinging pain, that means to stop. All right, whether you're marching in your chair or in the air, elongate your spine. See if you can coordinate your arms to swing in opposition of your legs. And just begin to breathe a little bit at your own pace, but ideally through your nose, inhaling and exhaling, either through your nose or your mouth. Just don't hold your breath. Great. Take those feet. Oh, reminder, please make sure you can always see and touch your chair. That's your balance check. As you widen your stance, rock your body side to side. If you can see it with your peripheral vision, then you're in a safe position to check your balance if you need it. And you're also exercising your peripheral vision, which is really key to your balance and your activities of daily living. So typically we'll set up on the side of the chair where we can reach it and see it. But sometimes we'll be working behind our chair. So wherever you're most comfortable. Sometimes we'll be on the other side. Pick those shoulders up and roll them a little. Everything feeling good? You can roll them a little bit bigger. Let's see how it feels to rotate our body a little. Hold the navel in, relax, reaching across your midline. Pushing our feet into the floor, pumping those hips, knees, and ankles. Get that blood circulating. You'll feel better, I promise, if you just warm up gradually and do a little bit of work. How hard you work is up to you, but I'm going to suggest on a scale of 1 being the lowest intensity, 10 being the highest, we shoot for a 4 to a 7 or 8. Actually, it's not my suggestion, it's Silver Sneakers, a Medicare's suggestion. But it's just a sound bit of advice, yeah? All right, if it feels good, you can reach overhead. You should also be able to talk while moving. If you can't utter a few meaningful words, you're probably working too hard. All right, let's bring it to a little march. Or a big march, but we're warming up. I want to give you an idea of the patterns we're going to do today. We always work on the ABCs: agility, balance, coordination, and strength, and cardio, and flexibility, and relaxation. However, these patterns of agility sometimes are a little bit more complex, so I want to give you an idea where we're going. So make sure you can touch your chair. This is a marching pattern for agility. It's called the rock step. Get that left foot marching. Left, 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 right, left. You got it? Good. Now rock it forward 4 times. 3, 2. We're just marching, but we're rock stepping forward and back. Now, side and back. Side, side. Good. Now back 4 times. 3. We can pump our arms. 2, 1. Side. 4, 3. We can get really low if we like. And then we can go double time. 4, 3, 2. Side. 4, 3, 2. Back. 4, 3, 2. We're just warming up. And side. 3, 2. Just walk it out. So did that bring your heart rate up a little bit? You're breathing too? Okay, but not too much. We're just warming up. So that was a pattern about agility. We'll play with that. We're also going to do one that's more about balance, and it looks like this. Well, first it sounds like this. Lift, 2, side step, 2. So we're going to lift, 2, and go over, 2. We have to be a tiny bit behind our chair for this to work without running into the chair. So give yourself some room to just slide a couple steps to the left and lift your left knee, and a couple steps to the right. Good. We can always use our hand on our chair for that balance check, or we can tap our toe down. It might be not challenging for you, so you can just keep your hands nearby, knowing you can grab your chair whenever you like. So that's where we're going. Just walk it out. Walk it to the front of your chair. Make sure your feet are close enough to your chair you can actually feel and touch it with your legs or your heels as you get seated, so that you don't crash to the ground on your behind. We don't want that. That's happened to me a couple of times. But just by by setting up a simple, safe system, touching the chair with our feet. It gives us confidence so we can work a little bit harder should we choose. Right? Right. Okay, let's get a little sip of water before we carry on and continue to warm up in our chair with some dynamic stretches and some more patterns. It's always best to get your drink while you're seated because you're lower to the ground and it's harder on your back to bend over forward too far. So step to the side, lean to the side, and support with your abdominals and your arm. And you'll do your back a favor. We're entering spring training, that is gardening season, and gardening is the hardest sport I play, and I play a lot of sports. So this little program of ours keeps me fit so that I can do more gardening with more ease. What does this do for you? I want you to think about that and keep that in mind when you don't feel like exercising, okay? Sitting tall right at the edge of your seat. Let's do a marching pattern out to the right, out to the left, and then in to our neutral stance. Now to the left, out and in and to the right, a little faster. Out, in, to the left, out. Let's try it at tempo. Right, out, in, left, right. Maybe add a clap for when we're going to change our lead. This is going to be really hard, but see if you can try to do it double time. Oh no. Out, in, clap, out, in, clap. Oh, well that didn't last very long for me. But the whole idea was that we were warming up our legs, getting that circulation going. Now we're going to stretch here a bit, knees tracking toes, hinging forward just gently at the hips, keeping the head up and the spine elongated. Putting a gentle stretch here and then on one shoulder perhaps. Ooh, that feels good. Remember, if it doesn't feel good to you, these are suggested movements. You can substitute your own ideas. Walk those feet in and walk them out and move those hands and elbows and shoulders and do it again. Just keep moving. Excellent. Sit tall and stretch out your right leg, stretch out your left. Push the right sole of the foot in the air if that feels good. And stretch with both arms. Like, I don't know if when you were a young person, if you ever did a jackknife dive, it feels like that. Pulling the navel in and rounding the spine, and then opening those shoulders as you pull your elbows back. Excellent. Well, the music is telling us it's time to move on, so we better get a little stretch, gentle on this right hamstring, supporting on the left lat. Take a nice deep breath. So hopefully on our scale of 1 to 10, as we pull our toes and fingers up and toes and fingers down, sit tall. Hopefully we're nearing the goal of our warm-up as we stretch that left leg, is to get our bodies closer to a 2, possibly a 3 on that 1 to 10 intensity scale so that we're better able to move toes and fingers down, toes and fingers up with greater efficiency, and the joints are a little warmer and a little bit more flexible. Okay? Take a deep breath, opening your arms and chest. Exhale. And ask yourself, do I feel like doing our rock step pattern here in the chair or standing up in the air? You get to decide. We're going to do about 10 minutes of moving, maybe 8 to 10, and that'll be good for strengthening heart and lungs. So if you're standing, take your time, get situated. On the right side of your chair here. Whoops, wrong button. All right, best posture. Able to see and touch the chair. Get your right foot marching. Right, left, right. Best posture. Okay, remember our rock step is just a little step forward and back, but it's simply marching. We're going to take 4 to the front. Ready? Let's go. 4, 3. You can pump those arms as big as you like. Side. 4, 3. You can go a little lower if you like. Back. 4, 3, 2, 1. Side. 4, 3, 2. You want to try that double time to the front? 4, 4 and 3 and 2 and side. 4 and 3 and 2 and back. 4 and 3 and 2 and side. 4 and 3 and 2 and march it out. How'd you like that? Remember, you can go at your own speed. You can continue going at tempo. But let's take it over to the other side and try that exact same pattern. Situate yourself so you can see and touch the chair. And best posture, of course, it feels good and it looks great. Get that left foot marching. Left, 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 right, left, and rock it forward. 3 more forward. 2 more. Side. 4, 3, 2, 1. Back. 4, 3, 2, 1. Side. Tempo. You can continue at tempo, or you can go double time with me. Front. 4 and 3 and 2 and side. 4 and 3. Pump those arms. And back, back, 3, 2, side, 4, 3, 2, and march it out. Woo! How you doing with our intensity? Did you bring it up a notch? Maybe 2? 4 to 7? If you're at an 8, it'll feel like, I can't continue at this pace. I'll bring you back to a march when I need to. Very good. We're going to do that pattern again. This time we're going to do it in 2s. So on the right side, best posture, right foot's marching, right, left, right, and 2 to the front. 2 to the side, 2. Excellent. 2 to the back. Excellent, 2. Now if you want, double time, here we go. Front, side, back, side. Let's do it again if you care to. Side, back, side. Slow it down. Let's stay right here. We've done it in 4s, and then we cut it in half to 2s. Where do you think we should go now? 1. Right. Let's give it a go. Best posture. Right foot is marching. Right, 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 left. Rock it forward 1 time. And side. 1. And back. 1. And side. Let's stay at tempo. And when we get back to the front, if you choose, we'll go double time. Ready? Here we go. Front, side, back, side, front. Fast feet. And keep those arms pumping. Front, side, back, side. 1 more if you like. Woo! All right. Do you think we could do that on the other side? If you said no, you're right. You can take a break. Do your best, then rest. And then join back in, whether you're doing it seated or standing. If you're ready to do that rock step with the left foot, situate yourself, best posture, left side, left leg marching, left. Left, right, left. Got it? Rock step forward, 2, 2. Side, 2. Pump those arms if you can. Back. Good. Side. Let's do it again in 2s. Front. At tempo. Side. Back. Excellent side. And if you're ready, if you're feeling it, let's try double time front. 2. Now side. Now back. Now side. Pump those arms. Do it again. And side. Back. Side. Front. Woo! Just march it out. How you doing? Catch your breath. We're going to break it down to ones. Get that left foot marching. Ready? Left, 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 right. Rock it forward 1 time. Side, 1 time. Back, 1 time. You got it. Let's do that again at tempo. 1 more, and when we get to the front, if you like, double time. Here we go. Woo! We're doing a lot of work already, so remember, make it yours. Go at your own pace, but keep moving. Where are we? Side, back, side, back, side. I said back when I meant front, but you knew that. Good. Let's march it out if you would. Woo! Catch your breath. How are you doing with your intensity? Can you talk? Oh, can I hear you? Let's take a little moment, catch our breath. And I'm gonna slow our heart rate down just a tad before we pick it up again, if you like. With this step out, rather than a rock step, we're gonna get rid of the march and we're just going to step front, step side, step back, step side. It's an anti-fall skill, a leg strengthening skill. Sidled up on the right side here. Best posture. We're going to step on that front mark and hinge down. Then we're going to step on that side spot. If these spots were numbers on a clock, this would be your 3 o'clock. This would be your 12. Back to 3. And 6. And if you like, we could do that a little bit faster. 12, 3, 6, 3, 12. Really step and hinge down and strengthen those legs and hips. Woo! I'm getting hot. If you want to finish that off on the other side, I promise this will be our last part of this little pattern. Actually, it's not so little, so good for you if you're able to do any portion of it at your pace. Left side, best posture. Take your left foot and imagine you're stepping on 12, and this time we're going to step on 9 next. Hinge down in those hips. 9. Back on 6, if we're imagining our feet are stepping on numbers of a clock. And you could go a little faster. 9, 6, 9, 12. One more time around that clock if you like. Just like that. We got a good little batch of cardiovascular and respiratory, that is heart and lungs, exercise. Aerobic exercise with oxygen. Now we're going to transfer to our chair and focus on anaerobic. So, the more we are able to move our whole body with these movements, the more we'll build coordination and use more calories. But you know you. So if you want to do just one of the 2 or 3 exercises that we combine, you get to decide. You're in charge. But before you sit down, get those feet close to your chair. Hinge your hips and keep your chin up. Keep your weight equal in both feet as you get your tailbone back. You can hover and build strength in your hips and legs, or you can just get seated, or you can squat a lot. But you'll have a few more opportunities to squat if you really feel able and it's within your challenging yet doable skill set today. So, before we move on, let's get a sip of water. Step to the side, hold the navel in to support your long, strong spine, as well as using your opposite arm ideally. And lean to the side. These are just simple systems that we can practice that will become habit. And we like to have habits that are good, but just as much as good habits are important for our health, also it's good to have variety to stimulate our mind and all of the body's systems. So here's to variety, but safe and effective exercise. We're going to use our weight here. So go ahead and take your time. Grab whatever container or hand weights you have. Maybe you're still using those sock weights that we made. Maybe you have nothing. It's going to be effective regardless, okay? We're going to do 2 sets of 2 different exercises, and one will be right and left. So let's start with a great upper back strengthener. Sitting halfway back in our chair so that our heels are touching the chair. Should we like to squat, which is an option, and it's a big option. But sitting halfway back in our chair, you can take, whether you have 2 hand weights or none, or 1 in the form of a jug. Let your arms hang down, hinge forward with your head and chest a bit, but keep the chin up and focus forward. Dig your heels in as if you're going to get up, but don't, okay? Then just pull the jug up, or the weights, close to the body. Only as high as your collarbone with the weight, please, never higher. This is an upright row. At the top, your elbows should come close to describing the letter Y, or perhaps a T. All right, now you're digging those heels into the ground and all 10 toes. You can pretend to get up and see how that feels. Or you can actually stand, squeezing your hips forward as you pull that weight up. You can tap down and continue. We've already done at least 8 of these upright rows. So if you wanted to do at least 2 more, that would be 10. That would be a great set. Maybe as many as 20. If you can do more than 20 of this particular exercise, I'm going to suggest you use a heavier weight. Put some more fluid in your jug. Make sure the lid's screwed on tightly. Because the goal of our anaerobic or strength training is to feel done. And I feel like I finished that set. I will recoup that oxygen while I work on different muscles. Get it? Okay. Now we're going to work on, that was more of upper back and medial shoulders, as well as the backs of our hips. We're going to sit, let's try sitting side saddle in a lunge stance. Should you like to lunge, but that's a big chance, a big choice, and a big demand on your body. So sit over here on the right side with the right hip ever so slightly off. We're going to do a cross chop. We're going to rack the weight near our right pelvis or the right hip. We're going to push up and across the body as we pull the navel in. Rotating a bit and tracking that weight, or even just our arms as they push up on a diagonal. If it doesn't feel good on your shoulders, shorten and make that range of motion smaller. If it feels fine, make it bigger. Dig your feet in as if you're going to stand up, and if it feels like it's not for you, it's not. If you're feeling very comfortable and confident, you can do a lunge, tap down. The seat is my spotter. If I lose my balance, there I am. Now we're working a lot of the upper shoulder, front shoulder, and I'm about tuckered out. How about you? Don't worry, we're going to get the other side. But in between, let's do a second set of our upright rows. Or not. If you're feeling tuckered out, you feel like you've used up your anaerobic stores, all that fuel in your muscles, take a break for 30 seconds. You'll recoup and you'll be able to do more. So make sure your hips are halfway back in your chair. Hinge halfway forward towards your lap. Get your tailbone back, pull your navel in. Exhale or inhale as you row up straight, weight close to your body. Strengthening upper back, medial and rear deltoids, as well as our biceps in our upper arms. Now dig those heels at all 10 toes in and see how it feels to pretend to get up. That's a good strengthening exercise for your legs and hips. And if it's in your abilities, tap your hips down and back, squeeze them forward, and do a full squat. Breathe. How you doing? Do your best and then take a break. We need breaks at different times. If you never feel challenged, you never feel like you have to stop, maybe you can work a little bit harder, but not too hard. Remember, when we're doing our strength work, you should feel like, I don't think I can do that safely and in perfect form anymore, okay? But anything sharp, sudden shooting pain, stop. Go back to the last movement that worked for you. Now, finishing up with this split stance lunge on the left. Left hip is ever so slightly off the chair. I forgot to mention on the other side, I'm holding the handle with my left hand on the left side, cradling with the right, but however it works for you, just do it. So, hold the navel in and see how it feels to take it from close to your left pelvis up and across the body. Track that weight or your hands or the jug with your eyes and move your rib cage around a little and exercise those obliques and abdominals. See how it feels to do this cross chop, digging your feet in as if we were going to stand up. And if it doesn't feel right for you, stay seated. If it feels good, you could do the whole motion. It's a balance challenge because if you track, oh, don't worry, that was my sign. If you track the jug or the weights, it's really hard and challenging for your balance. Maybe one more. Woo, that's hard. It was hard for me. I hope it was a bit challenging for you, but not too much. Let's take that step to the side, lean to the side, and return it under the footprint of our chair. Get some more water. I don't know if you've noticed, but all of the songs I'm playing are by super powerful female vocalists. See how we're doing with our time. We have, good, all right, we got time. All right, this is our step to the right, lift the right leg, step to the left, lift the left leg, 2 + 2 pattern. I'm demonstrating it in the chair. Woo! Woo! If you know that you want to be on your feet, you're right. Go ahead and take your time and get yourself situated ever so slightly behind your chair so that you have room to navigate to the side without bumping into it. And while you're lifting your leg, you can grab it if you need. Okay, I'm going to join you on the right. Lift, 2, over, 2, lift, 2, over, 2. Now, if you're doing that knee lift and working on balance, but you feel a little uncertain, you can just keep one finger touching that chair, and that'll help strengthen your leg that you're supporting on, and your ankle that you're supporting on, and the foot. If you feel a little wobbly but safe, that's good. That means you're getting challenged. Now, if you feel not so wobbly and you want more, you can add a little skip to your lift and you can pump those arms. But just be safe, be careful, err on the conservative. How you feeling? I can feel this on the fronts of my thighs because those hip flexors and quads work very hard when we do knee lifts. So let's change our locomotor move and do a hamstring curl. Keep your knee down, dorsiflex your foot, and try to kick your butt. Some people call these butt kickers, but they're hamstring curls, and we're keeping our knee down to emphasize more of the rear musculature of the legs and the hips. I need to move forward so I don't kick the couch or my cat back there. How are you doing with your intensity? Remember, 1 to 10. Ideally, we're somewhere between a 4, which feels great. I could keep going like this for a long time. And perhaps a 7. This is wonderful, but I'm not so sure if I could do it for the remainder of the hour. And an 8 would be like, I have to slow down a little bit, but I can keep going. Kind of makes sense, doesn't it? If your balance is great, you want to add more cardiovascular, you could put your arms overhead. Always paying attention, knowing you can tap your toe down for that balance check, because now your arms are rather far away from the chair. How you doing? Are you feeling this in the backs of your thighs? I am. Remember, you could be little with your motion and still be getting relevant exercise, working on balance and cardiovascular endurance. In the middle somewhere, it's up to you. Well, let's change this locomotor move from a hamstring curl to a little hip abduction. Straight leg out to the side, pull the navel in, pull the crown of the head up, lift, lift, 2, pull the navel in. If you're dorsiflexing your foot, you're really going to feel this in your hips. A long leg means we're lifting a little bit more weight from that hip joint. But hip strength is really important, so do your best. If your balance is good, here you go. Let's do one more set each side. Woo, I'm feeling this. Good, let's march it out for a minute. Take a little mental check. How's your perceived exertion? Can you talk? How are your hips? Do they need to stretch? If so, take care of them. We're going to keep moving if you like. This time we're going to take 4 little steps. Okay, littler steps so we don't get too far away from our chair. And then we're going to lift up to our tippy toes, okay? Make sure you can touch your chair. 4 little steps to the right. 4 tippy toes. Lift. 2, 3, 4 to the left. Good. Strengthening our calves. Got our chair if we need it. Now, if you like and you wanted to add more intensity, arms up. Excellent. This is a big full body exercise. 4 up. On our toes. Got your chair if you need it. If you want to use your legs more, get down with those 4 side steps. Get up. Get down. I think I'm starting to glow a bit. How about you? 4, 3, 2. This is so good for your body. Do your best. You can make it tiny. That's fine. You can keep your hand on your chair the whole time. That's great. Do your best. All right, we got that heart rate up if you want with this big full body movement. Let's go back to our knee lift in 4s. 4, 3, 4, right knees. Balance, balance. Yeah, to your left. Make sure you can touch your chair. 4, 3, 2. All right. Right knee. 4, 3, 2, left. Woo, I'm getting warm, but I feel good. How about you? Are you answering me in a few words? If so, great. If you need to slow down, super duper. You know you. Let's go to our hamstring curls. 4 on the left. Woo. And to the right. That one's a little different. I had to do a little balance check. Let's work on that again. So we've got our weight has shifted. Our leg is behind us. We're using different muscles. Variety. Let's do a set with our hip abduction. Lift it out to the side. Woo, that's hard. 4, 3, 2. How low do you want to go? Up, up, up. I was wobbling there. Did you see that? That's okay. I know I've got my chair if I need it, and you do too. All right, I think I've got about one more set each side in me. How about you? How are you doing? Try to stand tall. Woo! Excellent. Stay here if you like. March it out. Take a deep breath. Oh, yeah. Good. Stretch your hip if you like. Other hip. And while we're here, let's get a little calf stretch. Those toe raises probably tightened our strong lower leg muscles. And now we're going to give them a little gentle stretch with our right heel back, pasted to the ground. Leaning forward, we can feel a comfortable stretch. It's harder to do in your chair, but just kind of slide your heel back a wee bit. And then other leg. Take your time. I just saw some of our regular exercisers that live near me going by on the block with their regular walk and talk. Yay, way to go. So good for your health and such a good thing for your neighborhood health. You know who you are. All right, we're going to transition to our strength work again. So this time we're going to be using our ball primarily, if you have one. Before we do that, make sure your area is safe. Get your feet close to your chair. You can experiment with your width of your stance. However, a narrow stance may feel more polite and ladylike if you were sitting down, let's say, in a crowded restaurant. I haven't done that in over a year. Or in church. But if your feet are a little wider, you use more of your leg and thigh and hip muscles. You might even feel comfortable, depending on the chair and your limb lengths, with your feet just on the outside edge of those chair legs. But make sure you're touching them as you perform your favorite number of squats. Recognizing to just get seated is 1. Yay for you. Okay. Woo. Stay hydrated. Be mindful as you grab things down low here in life, in our exercise program or out in your garden. We're going to do some strengthening for our core a little more here. Sitting at the front edge of your chair, or have your ball if you've got it. Sit in a V fashion with the knees pointing the same direction as the toes. Sit tall and imagine a glass pain in front of you that you might be riding a rainbow with your nose on. And that's the movement we're going to do to the right side primarily. If you like, you can tuck that ball under your right elbow. Hold the navel in, brace as if someone's going to pop you in the belly, but they're not. Put your other hand on your waist. Squeeze the elbow to the ribs. This is strengthening the shoulder stabilizer. Cuff, if you would. Then add a little side flexion, and you could feel with your other hand, the left hand on your waist, you could feel the obliques strengthening, lengthening, and then contracting. Exhale as you squeeze the air out of that ball. If you want, you can just touch the outer ear. Remember that pane of glass in front of you, and don't lean forward and bump your nose. Just draw the rainbow. Really give that ball a good squeeze. And then see if you can give it a little bit of a pulse while you breathe in as if you're smelling your favorite soup. And exhale as if you're blowing to cool that soup off. Excellent. All right. We're going to get the other side. So take your time, but get that ball. By the way, if the left shoulder hurt while you did this movement, you could alter the angle, or you could just skip it and do it without the ball. That's fine. There's no law that says you have to do the same exercise right as you do left or back as you do front. You have to first and foremost be mindful and go at your own pace and don't do anything that hurts. Exhale as you squeeze the elbow toward the ribs. Feel those obliques working. Pulling the navel in. We're also strengthening some very important spinal stabilizer muscles, the quadratus lumborum. Again, if you want a little more, you could just tap that outer ear on the right. Breathe each time, and if you want, you could finish off with a little pulse. Inhale like you're smelling your favorite flower. Exhale as if you're blowing fluff off of a dandelion. They sure are pretty, but they could take over a yard. I stopped fighting them when I found out that they brought good minerals from way down deep in the soil with their long, strong taproot. And they attract bees, which pollinate my garden. Yay! All right, we're going to strengthen this abdominal, the front of our abdomen. Blah, 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 blah. The erectus abdominis. So bring your feet together, sit right at the edge of your seat. You'll have an option to do some grip strength here as well. But first, put your feet together, toes a wee bit ahead of your knees. Pull the navel in as if you're zipping up your tightest trouser. Tuck your tailbone under and lean back. Keep the back of the neck long. See how far you can go back without letting your feet pop off the ground. Then slide forward just a few inches to keep that tension right here. Good. Exhale as you slide forward. Inhale as you go back, or vice versa. Just don't hold your breath. And if you like, squeeze the ball with 4 fingers against the heel of the hand. And or with the thumb opposing. However, if your thumb joint is arthritic and it hurts, you don't have to bring the thumb into the picture, into the equation. You could just squeeze 4 fingers. Or you could play a little coordination game and do index finger thumb squeeze, 3rd finger thumb squeeze, ring finger thumb squeeze, that's hard, and pinky finger. Then back to your ring finger. And 3rd finger. And index finger. And if you feel like doing a little bit more, arms overhead, push the ball into the knee. Other leg. You can lean back into your chair, tuck your chin if your lower back or your neck, the front of the throat are hurting. Or you can stop. And if you like, 4 more. This is a hard exercise set, folks. If you're doing it with good form, it's meant to be challenging. Because without a little bit of challenge, we can't expect change. And the change we're going for is to build strength, or at least maintain it, and to build bone density, or at least maintain it. Because if we don't do these strength exercises and we don't get good rest and good nutrition, we will not maintain. We will definitely decline. So, all right, it's a move it or lose it scenario. We know that. Well, let's strengthen these hips one more time with the option. Wait, let's get our inner thighs. We haven't got those yet. So get to the front edge of your chair, tuck the ball above the knees. We're going to add the possibility, if you choose, of pushing into the chair. If that's a chair dip, it's a really challenging for the wrist, elbow, or shoulder joints. So if it doesn't feel good, skip that part. Definitely try the thigh squeeze. Feet a little closer than knees, and squeeze the air out of the ball. Sit tall. Dig your heels down. Feel those hamstrings wake up and strengthen. Pull your toes up. Feel the strength in your shin muscles. Great. Okay, this is all important for our balance. Strength is a big part of your balance equation, the biggest part. That and practice and your inner ear and eyes and proprioceptive cells. I'm having tongue troubles today. All right, now we're squeezing that ball, we're breathing. If you want, dig the heels of your hands into your chair. Dig the heels of your feet into the floor. See how that feels. To pretend to lift your hips. Squeeze them together. Breathe. And if it feels good, go ahead and lift your hips into a hip or glute bridge. Tap them down. Do it again. Feel the strength in the shoulders and the backs of the upper arms. If that doesn't feel good, just keep squeezing that ball. And give it a little pulse at the end here. Inhale like you're making a birthday wish. Exhale as if you're blowing out your birthday candle. Well, most of us have had a birthday during this pandemic. Indeed, probably all of us, because today, as I tape this or record this show, it's actually March 14th. And that's the day, the first day that I wasn't able to go to work in 2020. But I've been working ever since, and you were giving me motivation, so good job. I hope I'm doing the same for you. All right, we're gonna slow our bodies down by, well, I wanna give you at least one more standing balance exercise. So, this one will not be a pattern that's vigorous or fast. This one is going to be in the safety and comfort of our being with our chair on our feet, because we need to practice the things that we do in real life. And if we don't rehearse them the way that we get up and walk around, we can't expect to get better. We can do a lot in our chair, but we've got to try to maintain our ability to get up, get around, and live independently, safely. All right, so that being said, we're gonna work on our balance, and I'm gonna re-show you that anti-fall strategy and explain that step out to you. If you're standing near the right side of your chair, make sure your left hand is within a fingernail's breadth or a millimeter away from your chair. Use your best posture and perhaps a neutral stance. This is going to involve taking our vision out of the equation, so keep your hand right there on your chair, promise me. Best posture. Just stand and try to move your body sort of forward and back or side to side, keeping every bit of the bottoms of your feet on the floor. So kind of like a Charlie Chaplin lean. Your legs are straight, your spine is straight. You could trace little circles with your body. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, but I hope you get the idea. Now, you could try those circles the other way. We're strengthening the feet and the ankles. Feet and ankles are staying super, super tight here. Feet are suction cupped to the floor. Now, if your left hand is within a millimeter or less, or actually touching the chair, you could try closing your eyes and see how that feels. You always have the option of opening your eyes or grabbing your chair or stepping out into a lower, wider stance. That is a safety net should you feel that you might be falling. Okay? Let's try that again. If you wanted to add more challenge, you would bring your feet closer together. If you wanted to make it about the same, keep them where they were. If you wanted to make it easier, you make a wider stance. So, narrow stance, standing or sitting tall. If you're in your chair, you can do this. If you're standing, you must keep your hand close to your chair. This time, try those little circles with your feet together. Think of squeezing your inner thighs together. It's a tiny circle. Make sure your feet are grabbing the floor like giant suction cups. Your eyes are open, and if you feel safe and confident and your left hand is actually just brushing the chair with your fingernail, and you feel confident, you could close your eyes. Taking our vision out of the balance equation makes our inner ears work harder and our proprioception. Those are little cells throughout our body that help give our brain information about where our body is in space. What if you wanted to make this even more challenging? You could narrow the base by pulling up to one tiptoe and trying the same thing. Now it gets very hard. Or you could try a staggered stance, left or right foot in front of the other. You could also, if you were very, very strong and confident, you could just do it on one leg. You don't even have to do circles anymore. Just standing on one leg with your eyes open, knowing you've got your chair, knowing you can step out, is a great balance and leg strengthener. I'm going to do the other leg. But if you wanted more challenge, you could, with your left hand, right there on the chair, you could close your eyes. Knowing you could open your eyes, knowing you can grab your chair or step out. We're practicing those skills. And by doing those skills, we're strengthening our inner ear, our vestibular cells, and their connection with the brain. And we're strengthening our ankles and our feet. Very important for our balance. Let's stretch our calves one more time. And then we're going to transfer to the chair for a final stretch. And we're going to do a little bit of focus on relaxation. I'm not entirely sure when this episode will air, but I think it'll be the last week of March or thereabouts. And I just want to give a shout out to all of our fabulous female leaders here in Yellow Springs. We are fortunate to have quite a few of them. We also, and the main reason is because we, as a village, historically have given opportunities, not even in the, like as handouts, but just by allowing women to do the wonderful work that they want to do. By allowing Black folks, brown folks, and people who are not entirely Caucasian or white to have opportunities. It's not like we gave a handout. I remember when I was a young girl and I wanted to play sports, I was so happy when they finally let me. Just let me. So, as we sit down for our final stretch, it may take a little bit more work than just letting women have opportunities. It may take a little bit more work than just letting people of color to have opportunities. We may have to work a little harder on it because the last year really set us back, and it opened our eyes. And it's important that we all do that hard work. It's not always comfortable, just like our exercise, but without a little challenge, we can expect some positive change. So, it's a good time. I'm going to get my ball out of the way so that I can sit back in my chair. You know, we didn't get a sip of water. If you want to get a sip of water, that would be good. Okay. All right, just catch your breath. As you lean back in your chair, spine supported, hands near your lap, shoulders resting, eyes soft gaze downward or closed. And just breathe in at your own pace through your nose. And out through your mouth or your nose. As you inhale, see, imagine, and allow that air to fill the fullest, deepest part of our lungs, rising up and spreading our ribs naturally and lifting and expanding our chest. The lungs, like our muscles but different, need to be exercised and flexible. Women tend to breathe more shallowly, so we do need to take a few moments at least daily and to try to breathe deeply. This can help our endocrine system, can help relax and lower our blood pressure. It can strengthen and increase our lung capacity. So take a few more moments to just breathe in and exhale. While we're doing our breathing exercises, and there are many natural opportunities to do that. One good one would be first thing in the morning and last thing at night to just do some mindful breathing, perhaps some meditation, perhaps prayer, perhaps just counting sheep. But it's a very, very effective exercise. And if we do it a couple times a day, just 3 to 5 minutes, it can do a lot of good. And most importantly, it can do no harm. So let's finish with one of my favorite stretches. If it's not yours, you can do your favorite. By turning to the side, hinging forward, slowly getting that left leg back, slowly sitting up, letting that left knee drift down to lengthen the quadriceps, 4 big long muscles, and your hip flexor, and the side of your body. A lot of stuff happening there. Lengthening and then leaning. If it hurts your shoulder, you can bring it in and still stretch all those muscles. But if it doesn't hurt, hinge at that elbow, pat yourself on the back. If you've been doing just even one of these sessions per week, or perhaps today was your first time exercising with this program for a while, good for you. It's a good start, and it gets easier in general as you continue to exercise. So that's a good motivation when you begin. Remind yourself, you know, I usually feel so much better when I'm done. And you know what? My appetite's better and my sleep is better when I exercise daily. That is a really, really wonderful payoff. So remind yourself, and I don't need to remind you, there has not been a year of my life where having good health was so vital to just staying safe, strong, and not becoming critically ill with this COVID-19 coronavirus. Perhaps some of your loved ones, or even you, were sick, or worse yet, hospitalized or passed. We lost so many wonderful, wonderful human souls to this disease, and we might lose more if we don't keep up the good work. Most of you in the age category of 65 and up have gotten vaccinated. Yay for you. But we're not sure yet if we can continue to spread the disease. So it's really important when we're out and about around folks that haven't been vaccinated to wear our mask, social distance. But good news, if you want to have a couple of friends over who are fully vaccinated for dinner with you, you can hug and you can eat without a mask. So whatever you do, think about it. Keep it safe and simple. Bye for now.